Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 7, episode 2, and I'm trying not to get excited as we play one of the promotion favourites today, Sunderland, where we've already got a 9-point gap. We're up at the top of the league, joint with two other sides, Watford, who we did well against last year, and Blackburn, who are the outright favourites for the title, but we're sitting very pretty after the early stages and have strengthened our squad a little bit more too. So firstly, let's go and look at the transfer since the last episode. The loan window closed a couple of weeks ago and the transfer window closed a week after the opening day of the season. Let's go and look at what's been done. Not too much in truth, but just enough to be worthwhile. In terms of outs, I don't think there were any more big ones. Hozes and Kadeem Harris we were already talking about going. In fact, I think Kadeem Harris had already left at the start of the season, but Hozes was pending. He's gone to Hibernian for nearly £3 million. A really good deal for us for a player that was going to be second or third choice in his position. So we've made a huge transfer profit, but it looks like we've still strengthened the team. Coming in on the left-hand side to replace Hozes is Andre Green. He's a 3.5-star, 4-star potential player, inside forward, on loan from West Ham in the Premier League. And he looks a really good player and just a solid upgrade in every position. Moving on, we've got Jack Price. He's a holding midfielder who can also play in central midfield. 3-star ability, 3-star potential. At 31 now, he's not going to get any better. But having spent time in Wolves, he's gone to Colorado and spent a number of years there. Being a decent player with a professional personality and will certainly be a good addition to the squad. And then finally, the one we were waiting for. On the final day of the loan window itself, it was Jim Daniels from Reading, a lone right back, 21 years of age. He's picked up an injury unfortunately, but it's going to be a really solid backup for Colin on the right. So we've got that extra defender we said we needed last time out to avoid any injury crisis problems. And it's a very good job we've done that because as we speak we are having an injury crisis. So we've got Jack Rooney who's a high risk of injury as well as Tapia, but out already we've got Sabrino, which doesn't really matter, but defensively Jim Daniels, Alex Jackson, Stark who's a holding midfielder, and then Andre Green as well. So we are a little bit short of players today and we've got one or two others that have just come back. But most importantly, we want to know about how we've got to the top of the league. We've done really well in all competitions and just had the one terrible defeat so far. So after that Peterborough game, we won 2-1 away at Bolton. Goodwin and Coman scoring the goals there before a late consolation from the home side. Then at home to Hull, we won 3-0. Lewis, Lindsay and Coman again, just showing how good the front three can be when Coman's playing there and scoring goals for fun. We won on penalties against my beloved Luton Town in the penalty shootout of the Carabao Cup first round. We scored 4 out of 5, only Coman missed in that one ironically. Warren Potts, one of the 3 that got the goal. He's at Luton. Obviously you'll remember him from being on loan at us last year, but our backup team did a really good job there. We won 2-0 at Middlesbrough in the following game. Edwards and Burton with 2 early goals. Another free kick from the centre half, and we managed to hold on and keep a clean sheet there. It did start to go wrong defensively from that point on though. No clean sheet since, and we've conceded 8 in 4 games. We lost 4-2 at Reading despite being 1-0 and 2-1 up. Coman again getting a goal and Rooney finally getting off the mark for us too, but we collapsed in that one and then looked very weak against Luton Town as well. They went 2-1 up via Warren Potts again, but we got 3 late goals in that one to make the scoreline look a bit better than it probably deserved to be. We followed it up with a 3-1 win against Swindon in the Carabao Cup second round. Rooney scored off the bench, Hack and Mowat getting the other goals after we were briefly pegged back to 1-1 with 15 minutes to go, and then we won 3-1 at Pompey, an early goal for them, but we came back brilliantly. Lindsay, Stark and Coman with the goals again, despite Coman missing a penalty in that one. But now we face one of the promotion favourites who were relegated from the Premier League last season. They're down in mid-table, but it's very early days, and as well as us, they've got a few injury problems as well. So we're going to go and get straight into the game. It's a really important one for us to see where we expect to finish this year. We're talking about ourselves possibly challenging for the top 6, but we've got to prove it against sides like this. The only time we've played a team in the top half doing really well, we lost at Reading. So let's see what we can do in this tough run of games coming up. We've got Everton in the third round of the Carabao Cup, Palace and Watford who are right up there, and then when we'll be back for the third episode, we've got Blackburn in mid-October who are the outright favourites as we've mentioned. So let's get into the game and look at the lineup. There are plenty of changes due to the injury troubles. We're just about favoured favourites, but it's a fairly even game, and they're in inconsistent form after going 2 games without a win. We recovered from our loss at Reading with 3 wins on the bounce, but it's still going to be a very tough game today. Roberto Di Matteo in charge of Sunderland. He'll hopefully do a good job for them. They're a big side. We'd like to see them near the top, but obviously not finishing above us. Let's look at the lineup. It's nearly sold out at Oakwell. We've got a few players we need to change. There's our first 11 from the last game. We dropped out the subs because some of them were playing in the under-23s. So Tapia's nowhere near fit. 91%'s not enough. I normally want 93 or above from my players. So we've got the option to bring in Scully there or Jack Price, the new player. But we're going to put Scully in just for familiarity. Stark's out as well. He's going to be replaced by Benica, and he'll switch from a Carrilero role to an advanced playmaker on support, which is what he prefers anyway. Adam Lewis could come back in today, but the other two have done really well in the last couple of games, so we'll leave him on the bench as well. We'll go and pick those 7 substitutes though, and we'll be back in a second with the full 18. Well, I didn't expect it to be that easy. We've just got the 18 fit players plus Ryan Allsop, the backup keeper, so not much to choose from today. It was just about which ones we're going to start. We've got Lumley in goal as usual, Colin and Taylor the fullbacks with Lindsay and Burton in the middle. Burton doing really well on the right hand side despite being a second left footed centre half. Another youth prospect from the club. We hope he can become as good as Goodwin. We've got Scully in the holding role, Benica and the aforementioned Goodwin in central midfield, Coleman off the left, Edwards on the right, and then Rooney up front on his own trying to get some more goals for us. Let's get into the game and see if we can do well at home, where we still remain unbeaten so far this season. A slightly more attacking version of the 4-3-3 for Sunderland. They've replaced the holding man with a number 10 instead. They've got Ryan Niambi at right back, he's a good player. Keenwer in the number 10 role's a good one too. Willock's there, another name we recognise. Connor Cody at centre half, and then Jed Steer in goal too. So plenty of big names and a decent side expected to be right up there. So it's really going to be a test for us today, but hopefully we can come out of it remaining unbeaten at home. Let's get straight to the kick-off, which will be taken by Jack Rooney. Scully finds Benica. Back to Burton, the centre half. Can we create a really early chance? We go for the long ball over the top, but it leads to nothing, and the highlight ends with just 30 seconds gone. It's a throw on the right for Sunderland. Niambi's going to take it to Willock. He goes inside to Overton, who's on the right wing for them today. Block back to Willock again. They're keeping the ball well. It's the first good chance of the match and it's Sunderland's, but the shot's blocked and Benica clears. We survived that one, but it's a poor early start, though we've now got a corner with Coleman. Scully knocks it down. Rooney loses out, deflects a couple of times. The shot's blocked at the second attempt, and it's somehow gone out for a Sunderland throw on the left. The highlight ends, but with 10 minutes gone, we've dominated the shot count, even if no one's managed one on target. But it's Burton with a free kick, puts it just wide, and unfortunately another chance goes begging without a shot hitting the target. Lumley claims a corner from Sunderland, another chance to get one on target's gone, and it looks like this game's going to be terrible for the supporters. Scully dropping in there. You remember in the last episode we talked about our tactical changes, that man in the anchor role just coming as the deep line playmaker to collect it off the keeper. Scully was doing that there, and it's leading to a good attack now with Goodwin. 25 yards out, charges into the box on the left, but he's put it just over the bar, and it remains goalless with a quarter of an hour gone. We've got a corner on the left. It's an in-swinger from Coleman. Up to the back post, headed away as far as Edwards. Shoots from the edge, but it's blocked behind for a throw. And another chance goes. Still none on target, remarkably, despite there being 8 shots in total. It's headed away from the long throw. Edwards on the right, out to Colin on the overlap. Back to Goodwin, great volley blocked. Plays a 1-2 with Scully and it's cleared. Benica heads away to danger. And now we've got another corner with Coleman. Lindsay knocks it down. It falls for Edwards. 12 yards out, smashes it in. It looked like it was near the middle of the goal, but the keeper just didn't read it, and we finally take the lead after a quarter of the game, and we finally hit the target after 10 shots. It's a good chance to get ahead, and hopefully now we can assert our dominance. Benica's got the ball in the middle. We've got to praise Dougie Freedman for the work he's doing. If we win this one, we'll do that even more, as Rooney has a shot but Steer tips it over, and another chance goes, but we're starting to hit the target consistently now, and that can only bode well for the rest of the game. Taylor gets the ball down down as it's cleared away from the corner. Inside to Scully. He finds Burton, who was running back from the corner. He was trying to get back to his position, but he ended up in possession of the football. Half an hour gone, it's a long throw on the left. Burton tries to go up but loses out. Coleman gets it back to Taylor, delivers to the back post, headed away well but only as far as Scully. Burton in the middle gets it to Scully again. He finds Nigel Goodwin. The superstar's not really been in it this game yet. Benneker goes for a shot instead from 30 yards, and Steer made a bit of a meal of it in the Sunderland goal to tip it behind for a corner. Coleman delivers to the back stick to Lindsay, but it's straight into the arms of the keeper, although we've now managed 4 shots on target. We've got 10 minutes to the break, and we're coming forward again from the set piece. Goodwin 25 yards out, goes for the shot, tipped behind by Steer up to his left hand side. Good save this time by the Sunderland keeper to keep us at bay again. Coleman to the back post to Lindsay, heads it in. 2-0 with 10 minutes to the break. We've finally got the second goal we deserve, and we are really dominating this game against a side that are expected to be right up there against us. Watford are winning as well, and Blackburn must be too. They're both on the road, but we've got to focus on ourselves. If we keep winning games, we'll start to look like a proper side. We've got the best goal difference in the league, and we want to make that better today. Goodwin shoots from the edge for the 3rd time in this match, and has forced another good save from Steer, who's currently keeping Sunderland in it. Coleman with an outswinger, a poor corner this time, but we'll let him off as he's put plenty of good deliveries in. We're just about to reach the halfway mark, and it's been a fantastic first half performance from the lads. There is the whistle, then it's half time. We've absolutely pasted them, and the only shame that it's only 2-0. Hopefully we can make it more in the second half. We're going to tell the lads we're pleased with how it's going, and we're going to hope that they can keep producing in this second period. Sunderland have got the ball back at centre half. Connor Cody with the ball, but the highlight ends and we don't get to see any danger. We've now got an attacking throw on the left with Taylor. Headed away as far as Goodwin. Steer denies him again. Goodwin's had 4 good efforts in this match, and his rating's gone down to a 6.4 now, purely because Jed Steer keeps saving them. We've got an outswinger from Coleman though. Into Lindsay at the back post, knocks it down for Goodwin. I thought he'd finally scored, but I just noticed the offside flag before I made an arrogant comment, which has thankfully saved me from a statement I might regret. An hour gone now, and we continue to dominate, but now it's Sunderland coming forward. The one thing we don't want to do is give them a lifeline when they've only had 1 shot on target in the whole game. They've got the ball on the edge though. They go back to Willock, out to the right hand side to Niambi. He goes inside to Overton, waiting to try and beat that man, but goes back inside to Willock in the end. Aqua to Willock, keeping the ball in the middle. They found an overlap on the left though. Ristic gets the ball into Overton, straight at Lumley. It's an easy save, but we switched off a bit there, particularly Edwards on the right wing. He wins the header from this throw-in though. Aqua knocks it down, but Benneker does well to get it back. 30 yards out on the left-hand side, goes for a greedy shot instead of a pass, and it's deflected out for a throw on the left. We've just got 25 minutes to go, and we'll think about substitutions in a minute. But Collins got a long throw on the right-hand side. Headed away by Sunderland, and now they can counter us. They've got 5-on-5 briefly. They've got Keenwar in behind on the left-hand side, but it's being deflected away, and he's got a second chance to deliver. Back to Ristic and now Aqua again. He finds Willock. He's going backwards, which is what we want to see. We're forcing them back towards their own goal, but they found a break now with Overton. Shoots from the edge straight at Lumley, and he has made it easy for us on the couple of times he's got in. A quarter of the game to go, and let's make some substitutions. We're going to take off Rooney. He's not had the best game. He's on a yellow card as well, so we've got to be careful. Woodrow will come on for him and stay as an advance forward. We're going to take Niall Goodwin off as well. I'm pretty sure I've called him Nigel at least twice today. We'll bring Alex Mowat on there. He likes to be a Carolero, I think, rather than a Mazzala. In fact, it doesn't make any difference. We'll leave him as the Mazzala and see what happens for the next few minutes. We've got one more sub in the bank, and we'll try and get Adam Lewis on if possible, because he always does so well when he plays. We've got Charlie Taylor on a booking at left back. We've got to be careful of him as well. It's a throw on the left for Sunderland. Just coming back into it now. Ristic finds his number 10 on the edge. Great effort, hits the post. And Burton and Lindsay between them make the slide challenge and get it away. We're just about held on that time, but we've got to be careful towards the end of this match. Charlie Taylor is going to come off now. Struggling for fitness. And we want to keep the players on yellow cards away from a chance at a second. So with 10 minutes to go, Lewis comes on. The man who was the hero in the last episode against Peterborough. We've got a warning to close down Overton. He's got in 2 or 3 times in this second half, but we still look completely comfortable and we're controlling games again. It'd be nice to get a clean sheet after 4 games without, but we do know that we've got some stiff opposition ahead of us. Watford are one of our upcoming opponents. They won 5-0 at Bolton there. That's a brilliant result for them. Blackburn winning at Leicester, another one of the promotion rivals. So we've got some really tough competition at the top of the league. Overton gets it out to the right to Niambi. He's going to try and deliver, but it's deflected away. Woodrow does well to clear, and with just 20 seconds left, it's another controlled performance, which is going to end with 3 points. 8 wins and a defeat from the first 9 games in the league. We couldn't have dreamt of that a few days ago. It was brilliant work from the boys, and hopefully they'll be able to sustain it for a little while yet. We've got the tougher opposition to come, as we mentioned, but we can only test ourselves against what's put in front of us. It's a corner for Sunderland to finish the game, delivered into the back post. Lumley comes and claims it. Brilliant work from him to see out the match. Scully gathers the ball again, and we finally clear as the whistle goes. An easy 2-0 win, a really dominant display by the last 10 minutes, and we couldn't be much more happy with that performance. We're going to tell the lads they did well, nice and calm. We don't want to get too excitable yet, but a really good performance all round, and plenty more promising signs from the lads. We've got a 3-day recovery period before the Palace game, which is another big one for us. I'm not sure how they're doing so far. They're up in 7th place, so another tough game to come in the near future. We've then got Watford, who have overtaken us on goal difference, and then, as we mentioned in the next episode, we'll have that Blackburn game, which should still be a top of the table clash. Despite winning 2-0, the news headlines we lose top spot because Watford won by 5 to overtake us on goal difference. There's no problem with that for us. We did really well in that one. We'll tell Lindsay he did well defensively because there's not an option to say well done for scoring a goal. If we go to our schedule, we've already said when we'll next be back. We've got that Blackburn game on the 19th of October. We might obviously have a big 4th round tie in the Carabao Cup. We just don't know yet. And then we've got some big games. They've sort of placed themselves nicely this year. We've then got a month and a half before Leicester and Sheffield United, another month and a half before the FA Cup and Luton, and there's just plenty of big games scattered around, which means we should always have some good episodes. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on the video. I'll finish on the competition screen so you can see how it stands. We're starting to pull a gap to 7th place already, which is the most exciting bit for me, but obviously if we lose to Palace in the next game, that gap becomes 5 points and irrelevant. Let me know in the comments what you think of our signings. Did Dougie Freedman do enough for us to get us towards the top 6? Or are we still going to be a little bit short in defensive areas? I'm interested to know your thoughts on that. And how far do you think we can go in the Cups? And should I put any focus on them playing at home to the likes of Everton? It's obviously a tie that could be winnable with our first 11. But do I focus on the league to make sure we get in the top 6? Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories. This one, The Head Coach, where we're currently flying high with Barnsley, and our other series, Part of the Furniture with Torquay United. There's a big episode coming up tomorrow, which will be the final one of Season 6. It's the final day of the League One season, and we'll find out whether we've been promoted, if we're still in contention, could we win the title. You'll find all that out tomorrow. So if you're following that series as well, make sure you check out tomorrow's episode. There's also weekly content from my FIFA 19 lower league career with Crew Alexandra. That's out every Friday at 4:30. But a massive thanks for watching this one as always, and your continued support and following the series. And I'll see you next time for another big top of the table clash.